Evening all, and welcome back to Kerbalism. Now, we are still on the quest for more money, and to do that, I am fulfilling some contracts of taking tourists on their suborbital flight and bring them back home again. Very simple, doesn't pay a great deal, but it's easy enough done, and with stage recovery, I can recover most of the rocket. You will notice this rocket is slightly different to the other tour rocket we had. It uses that new command pod, the 3-seater one. I did decide to buy that, it only cost 4,000, so I thought, I'll buy that, I can put 2 tourists in it and a pilot, and it can go up, it can do its job, it can come down, it can lower our part count. Also, because we unlocked the new fuel tanks, even though I haven't brought them yet, our procedural tanks can in fact increase to 4 meters now, which is really helpful. Really helpful. That really helps it. So, I'm going to do quite a few of these contracts, basically rinse and repeat until we get enough money to upgrade the VAB, so we can start expanding out. Well, after a very long day and a bit of the night, next morning, I think it's the next morning, might be 2 days. No, I think it was only one. Yeah. Anyway, we have the money. We've got a little bit more science because I slapped some thermometers on the probes because I was aiming them all over Kerbin, sort of landing north and south. I was on 322,000, I think it was, and run out of contracts for tourists. We have 2 down here for 4 tourists each. Okay, but I'd run out of contracts for them, and I was trying to figure out how I could get some more money. And it dawned on me that when I'm launching the crafts, stage recovery is recovering the boosters that are obviously being detached on the way up, but not the main engine drive section. That section's actually coming down with the craft. Its parachutes are deploying and it's landing about 4 or 5 kilometers away from me. So I went round and recovered 4 of them because they were just dotted around the countryside doing nothing really. So I recovered them and now we have enough money. So let's make ourselves broke, shall we? Right click on that and upgrade. That drops us back down to 38,000. But it does allow us 255 parts, which is fantastic. So we've got 18 tons. No, we haven't got 140 tons at 36 meters. And 255 parts and basic action groups. So, the main contract we have is put a Kerbal in orbit for 30 days. And I'm thinking we could do that, and then in the meantime, we could come back and start doing some of these missions in between. Because obviously there's no point in putting them out there and waiting 30 days, because yeah, we might as well do these tourist ones still. These all pretty much want suborbital flights, so it's just go up, come down again. I will just have to slightly adjust the pod to allow for 4 people, because I can get 3 tourists, because I can put a probe on top. I can't do 4. So, I have to figure that one out. Sure, it's a way. But yeah, so let's build a probe for our brave Kerbal to go up and spend 30 days in orbit. And here is my 30-day craft. This will be able to support a single Kerbal. We have Valentina at the moment in there, but yeah, a single Kerbal for 31 days of food and water, 38 days of oxygen, 38 days of nitrogen. And this would work. This will go. The stress is 242 days, so that would be fine because there's plenty of space in there. It's got the delta V to get there, 3,800. I've got to orbit with way less than that, so I know that's possible. Plus, this engine is currently turned off. So if I did enable that, I've got just over 4,000 if I need it, but that is obviously the deorbit engine. But the biggest drawback to this is it costs 37,763 credits. We have 38,452. That would leave us with less than 1,000 credits left. And I don't think I could launch a single craft for that. I don't even think the contracts... Oh, they do give you an advance. Hold on, let me double check this. So, this one here, and this one here, it does not give me an advance in any way, shape or form. So 40,000 plus it's 40, 50, 54. It's about 60,000 for completing that mission. So we may take a small detour and do one of these first, then launch our 30-day craft. That would make sense, because then I'm not going to leave us completely broke, and we would be utterly screwed, because there's nowhere to take a loan. That's something that would be really good. In the admin building, you should be able to take a loan, although there is a bailout grant, isn't there? To give us 14,000 to sell the rep, so yeah, I suppose there is technically a way out of that, but anyway, let's instead build another tourist ship. But first I'm going to turn off oh, that's new. Yes, so we're getting loads of warnings of when it's off, it's when it's off. Let me turn off the battery and signal, because we don't need that for those. Okay, right. Now hopefully that will stop their messages coming up. And here is the Kerbal Tours Mark III, taking your Kerbals to brand new heights and hopefully bringing them back down without a large bump. So, engines to full, and away we go. And with that splashdown, hopefully we now have enough money to carry on. No science gathered. We've got 8,000 funds recovered, and obviously a little bit of funds for the stage recovery. All our tourists gain experience. I don't really know why, because they're tourists, but hey ho. And yeah, 91,000. So let's get that Kerbal into orbit. And we are go for launch. Valentina Kerman is off to test the long-term effects of space on Kerbals. Yes, this rocket actually costs about half our funds at the moment, but we'll bring in 100,000 plus lots of recovery from it as well, because that's quite cool. The central booster, I did put a probe core on, so it can turn about and deorbit itself. Hopefully, I really hope that kind of works, because obviously this is completely untested, brand new territory for Kerbals, and we just gotta hope everything sort of works. And here we are in orbit. Now, I did make a very big mistake with this craft. There are no reaction wheels in the top. These pods don't have reaction wheels in them at all, so I've been completely relying on the engine to turn me around, which is lots of fun. Obviously there is a tiny probe hidden in here somewhere, but it's very, very small and not very effective. But we are 83 and 75 thousand kilometers up, and yeah, I think I kind of want to circularize at about 80. I think that would make sense. I know 70 is above the atmosphere, but I just kind of want to get it sort of right, if I can. Of course, I need to rotate round, which I do have that reaction wheel in the little pod there, but it's so slow. Okay, so we're 84 and 82 kilometers. That's pretty close to being circular. That'll do for me. And all Valentina has to do is stay here for 30 days, which she does obviously have all the resources and bits and pieces for. I am in fact going to leave the main booster attached for two reasons. One, obviously, it's still got a lot of fuel in it, which I would kind of like to recover. I can do that by deorbiting it anyway, but I want to keep. But the main reason is that this engine has gimbal, and that one there doesn't. If I were to try and deorbit this as it stands, with no reaction wheels and no gimbling engine, I'm going to have to wait for it to be pointing retrograde and fire the engine at just the right time, and hope I get caught by the atmosphere. It could send me off on some wild, spinny thing somewhere that I just don't know about. But yeah, I think we will keep the main booster on there. We will use it to deorbit the craft as much as we can, and then drop it. And then once we're in the atmosphere and being dragged, because hopefully that engine is the heavy part, we can use that engine to slow us down to help even further. Leads fire re-entry pretty well, but yeah, that's the idea. I am just going to wait for us to be sort of pointing out so the sun is on our solar panels. But at the moment we're losing a lot of electricity. And we're actually gaining some. We're gaining electricity. But I do know for some reason, I don't think it is a bug, I think it's actually made away. The pressure control system uses a lot of electricity, which is fine, but it uses an awful lot on the plane fuselage compared to this one here. And I think that's just simply because the plane fuselage isn't designed for space. So my early tourist ones that were really suffering from electricity being eaten by the pressure control system, it's just because it's really difficult to pressurize a plane, I suppose. But yeah, like this, we are actually gaining electricity, so hopefully that will go up. We will stay with Valentina for a day, I suppose. Let's go around. Obviously, I need to leave the SAS on because with persistent rotation, I would just spin around out of control. There we go. Our electricity does fill all the way to full. Just want to stay with it through the night cycle and check that the electricity doesn't drop anywhere dramatic. Looks like it's going to be fine. Yeah, it uses about half the electricity and then is recharged in no time. So, okay. Obviously the craft is going to do weird spinny things as time goes on, but I'm going to leave all the warnings on for this, even though I know full well I'm going to get loads of signal errors for it. But I'm going to leave them on because that just makes sense, just in case I don't want Valentina to die. So, she's going to stay here for 30 days, which means we need to do something for those 30 days because, well, we don't have enough money to do anything else. So, interestingly, I've just come back here from switching out and I didn't get any warning about the craft not being in signal range. I wonder if that just happens when you're recovering a craft. I am sure it happened with some of the satellites before. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. We do have 61,000. We have got a fair bit of money because obviously Stage Recovery did a wonderful job of recovering things. I've got 87 messages in here now because I'm not deleting any of them. We're keeping every last one of them. See, that's EVA. That was our very first mission we ever did. So, we returned to the surface from orbit as well. So, that's just adding up all our milestones. Okay, but yeah. So, we're keeping all them. And we need to have a look at some more contracts, I suppose. Pretty much, I think it's going to be a case of tourists. That's what I'm going to do for the next 30 days. I need to fill the bank balance up. So, basically, the more money I have, the more extravagant things I can build. And we can then look at going to the moon and doing other bits and pieces. But money, money, money. So, yeah, I will do this. I think I will just pretty much repeat these missions here. I might pick up the odd other one here and maybe build a plane. I don't know yet, but I don't really want to unlock anything because it's yeah, money is our problem at the moment. So I will do that, and we will return when Valentina is now we get the warning there. Strange scene change. Oh well. But yes, we shall return when Valentina is on her way back home. So, it has been 22 days since we put Valentina up in orbit, and I have done countless tourist missions, taking tourists up into orbit, taking them round once, and then bringing them down nice and safely. We have just managed to pass the 500,000 credit mark through tours alone. Those missions are ridiculously profitable and really easy to do, so I'm happy with that. But it's time to move on. It's time to look at something a little bit more challenging. And that challenging mission is going to be exploring the moon. Yes, I think it's time, even with Valentina still in orbit, I think we can go and do a flyby from the moon. It doesn't have to be a Kerbal vehicle. It can be a probe one. So I think that's what we're going to do. We will accept the mission to explore the moon. And let us build all controllers standing by to watch the flame. Firework launch. Yes, so let's build a craft to get to the moon. And here we are with the Moon Explorer 1. Yes, this is heavily based on our very successful tourist ship. Just made a bit longer so we can get to the moon, hopefully. It does recover all of its parts. The actual boosters here, the parachutes are in the top. I don't know if I can highlight them there. You see the parachutes are hidden away on top. I found myself using a bit more part clipping this time around just to make things look better. I think that kind of works. I was going to do the same with them, but I'm not really sure. Clipping them right inside, I'm not really sure whether that just works or not. Maybe I should have. I have noticed the procedural decouplers do this weird thing. I'm not sure if it does the same on this one here, does it? Yeah, they're not quite connected properly. I do hope they'll work. I could use standard decouplers for that, but I went with procedural ones instead. And made the thing grey because that just makes sense. It just seemed to work for this vessel. So let's reset the camera. That's what I wanted to do there. And let's hopefully get ourselves up into orbit. Okay, and there we are in orbit. We are 86 and 82, that's close enough for me. We did have the boosters collide with each other, but I think things are okay, and I hope our main booster is going back as well. Kind of lost track of that one. What's that? Oh, that's the 30-day craft. Oh, we're just ahead of that. Let's say hello to Valentina. But yes, I think yeah, we lost some of them. So, yeah, some were destroyed, but some have been recovered. Okay, that's okay. I think the parachute placement was a bad idea on those. Maybe I should leave them on the side. Could still clip them in to hide them, but yeah, I think leaving them on the side would make more sense. It would pull the boosters away from the craft when they deploy. If they deploy straight away. I'm not sure, but anyway. The moon is there, just poking its head out of the sun. We have Minmus, Jewel, and Moho right there. Anything else in the sky? Oh, we've got all of them. Look, oh, that's the 30-day craft. I did not know it did that. Awesome. There's Lunar. There's Eve. Anyone else? Anyone else? Nope, I'm not really sure there are many other ones in the sky. Yes, so we're joined by every planet you can think of. So we have to get to the moon, which is going to be interesting because I can't do maneuver nodes. I haven't upgraded the tracking station yet to allow me to do any maneuver nodes. Okay, this is going to have to be done old school, isn't it? Let me see if I can remember this. Go around the planet on the dark side, and as the moon rises, you fire towards it. And then it should be there when you get there. At least I hope. Okay, let's figure this one out. Let's turn the ship around so solar panels are kind of facing the sun. And let's accelerate around to the other side of the world. And wait for the moon to be rising, and then you fire prograde, memory serves, and then when you go out there you should be able to meet the moon in its orbit. I hope. Been a long time since I've done this manually. Obviously orbiting, getting up to orbit, I've kind of got down. After you do that 500 times, taking tourists up and down, it kind of sticks in your head. And yeah, I'm not really sure why I had so much trouble doing that before. I think I just became lazy. I was so reliant on MechJeb or that gravity turn that I just became lazy and stopped remembering how to do orbits myself. Or how to get to orbit myself. So, straightforward. You wait for the moon to rise, and then you fire prograde, and you wait for it to go out and meet the moon. We do obviously have another stage up here. That's the return stage. It's all locked off at the moment, so I'm not worried about using the fuel. We're obviously not landing on the moon. We're just going to go out there and go around it and come back again. That's the idea. I didn't bring a materials bay with me, but I did bring the goo. And I think I'm going to save the goo for the moon rather than just high in orbit or wherever. And there we go. We don't have an encounter. Would I even get an encounter? Because I don't have Patchconics open. Would it tell me I'm getting an encounter? I don't know. It may not. It may not actually tell me that I'm getting the encounter even though I am. That is definitely just past the moon's orbit. I'm thinking that would be okay. I'm thinking that would be okay. Wow, that engine is hot. So yeah. Okay. I'm going to hope that's okay, basically. So I'm going to point that way, again, getting the solar panels onto the sun. I'll leave the SAS on because I don't want it to go flipping around. What we can do, however, is turn the lights on, if I can remember what button it is. There we go. Boom, and a little dish pops out there because I knew the onboard communications would not have enough range. I'm not sure about the other antennas to the moon, if I'm honest with you. So going with this one. Again, it is slightly part clipped, but I don't mind that for aesthetics. It just looks better when things are sort of hidden away a bit. You can see it folds down just inside, but yeah, that's good enough for me. As I said, we have the experiments inside there. We've got the pressure control, we've got the temperature gauge, radiation, and the goo container. The goo I will save until we get to the actual moon's orbit. I'm not sure if we're going to get a high in space option for the goo. We may do, but no, for now we're going to leave that. We're going to get up there in 1 day, which is fine. I think our 30-day craft has still got like 7 days left on it before it gets going. So let's fast forward the clock. Yes, cool. High in space. That's where we get the goo. We don't want that. We don't want high in space. High in space over the deserts. Right. So there's loads of goo to be got yet. Right. Might need a high altitude Kerbal flight, but not right now, I'm afraid. Nope, not right now. Not right now. Right. Let's turn off the time warp stopping because that's annoying. I want to get information from the moon, not from there. Okay. Let's fast forward to 1000. That really is popping like mad. Okay, I think we're definitely going to encounter the moon. Really hope we don't encounter the moon like that. Yeah, that is not how I want to encounter the moon. I do not particularly want to plough into the side of it if it's all the same. That would be a really, really, really bad idea. Right, we get temperature scan, pressure scan and radiation scan. But the goo, I'm going to wait until we're close to the moon. Kind of thinking I want to fire northwards as well. So, ooh, that way. Reset my camera so things make sense in my head again. Because if we come out of here, we're going to be coming out at a very weird angle. I can still get back to Kerban, no matter what, I think. But I mean, ideally I should have come along and done the whole figure of 8 thing. That would have been better. But I don't have Patronics, so I don't know. So let's file in here. There we go. We have a periapsis. That's good. I'm going to bring that down to try and be somewhat level with my orbit. There we go. So we'll come out equatorial. That makes more sense in my head. Okay. So now I'm going to just get close to the moon. I could also fire retrograde when I'm at the periapsis and slow us down, but I don't really know what's going to be going on when I come out of here. That is, obviously that's not where I'm going to come out. I will come out of here somewhere. I think that's speeding me up, so when I come out I'll be slower. I'm out the back of it, and you know, without these orbital lines, I was going to say there's a better word for them. Projections, that's the word. I'm really lost as to what to do. I believe coming out against the moon's natural orbit will slow us down and take us closer to Kerban. So maybe firing there, retrograde, would slow me down even further and make me come out slower. But I do run the risk of ending up in orbit of the moon. Which isn't a bad thing. I've got loads of fuel. I've got loads and loads and loads of fuel. So why the hell not? Yeah. Let's use the rest of fuel. We've only got 2 seconds worth of fuel. I don't know if that's going to put us in orbit or not. But of course, we have no signal. So we have no control over this craft at all now. And I don't think by the time we get to the periapsis we will have a signal back again. I can still apparently do the goo container. I think that's just because of it's still high in space, so not particularly mattering. Yeah. Right, let's do the goo observation here. Oh no, requires powered vessel to operate. Okay, so I can't even. There we go, our signal is back, so let's do the goo operation. Keep the data. Let's point retrograde. Come on, come on, come on. And oh dear. Let's use those 2 seconds of fuel to put us in an orbit. A very terrible orbit, but it is an orbit nonetheless. And on that note, we shall bring this episode to a close. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Hope to see you again in the next one. And until then, as always, have fun.